always stuck with too many emails and repeat emails coming your way, you're going to find that the new version of Outlook does some wonderful things to reduce the amount of emails you need to keep track of, and the list goes on. So, with Office 2010, we are taking our users to the next level of productivity. And Microsoft in Sri Lanka is working on both fronts, which is to take technology out into the most rural places which need technology. And on the other end of the spectrum, we are very keen to share the latest technology with the up-to-date users who want to benefit from the advances that global IT is making. So, with that, I want to thank a number of people here in the media who've been very constantly in touch with us, working with us, querying us very often about what's coming new, what can we do to improve, what is the role we want to play, how are we supporting Sri Lanka's IT movement, and a number of things like that. So I thank you for all the articles, exposures, and interest you have taken in the work we are doing, and I hope that you will enjoy the very short presentation and sharing of information we have here around our latest product. You know, Windows and Office are the two hallmark products of Microsoft, and it's a very exciting time globally when we're launching a new version of Office. So Imran will share some of the cooler stuff, and I want to step down. Thank you for being here, and we will address and take any questions after a couple more presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinan. May I now invite Mr. Imran Kazi, Technology Specialist of Microsoft Sri Lanka, to take us on a journey to celebrate Microsoft Office 2010.
Thank you, Manoji, and good morning to all of you. It certainly is another exciting time in our journey, and I keep reminding myself as to how much I kind of praise previous versions of Office, starting from Office 2003 to Office 2007. And when I looked at Office 2010 about 6-7 months ago, again I mentioned this is by far the best release of Office 2010 in the history. Why? Because firstly we have improved some of the existing capabilities we already have in our existing versions, and we've also introduced some new and exciting features to really help individual productivity go to a different level. So what I will do is I'll start off with an application which you would probably be using the most in terms of all the articles that you create and publish. So interface definitely looks very familiar, as you would have already seen. It's very familiar to Office 2007, the ribbon interface and so forth. But we've added some very nice looking features in terms of making text look much more attractive. So for an example, we just highlight this. Here are some textual effects. We've had this to a limited extent in Office 2007. Now we've improved this as well. We can add some exciting looks into the text. Maybe you want a shadow effect to make your document look a bit more attractive. You can do all this within Word itself. You no longer need to use any other graphic programs to do this. You want to maybe make the second text look a little different. Maybe you want to have a reflection. Here's how you do it. And all what you see is everything I'm doing here is just 2 mouse clicks away. Just highlight, come over here, and just click on the kind of the feature that you want. So for an example, you want to go for a glow effect. Here's what your glow effect looks like. So everything just in a couple of seconds, a boring set of text was just transformed into a more attractive, glossier kinds of text within Word itself. And this all looks just a couple of seconds. And typically when you create documents, you would want to kind of make your documents look a little bit more exciting. So here are some documents that I've created just for the purpose of the demo. And if you want to kind of play around with this document in terms of making it look more exciting, here are some features you can use. So for example, the smart art features in Office 2007 has been improved to include more attractive design elements. So here's one that I've used already. So here's the typical way of showing something. Maybe you want to show a set of tasks. Here's one way of doing it, which is the boring old way of doing it. But here's another way you can do the same thing, but much more visually appealing. And if you want to play around with how this looks, if you don't like the way it looks to a certain audience, just click here. You come over here and just change elements then and there, etc. And as you can see, whenever you do something, you also see a preview of what is going on there. Right, so maybe I'll stick with this. You want to change the color and everything, here's where you go. And these are some things you can do to really make your document look a bit more attractive or make it more visually appealing and readable. So these are some things we already had and some things we've already improved on. There is also a really nice feature called the document map. This is like a GPS in Word. So if I go to view and navigation pane, this is your document map. Now this part we already have. So for example, you can jump from one section to another simply by looking at the outline. So it's like a GPS. You first see all the content of the document, and you click on the particular section, and you go into that particular section. But here's what is interesting. So assume I want to add some new content. So let's say I want to add some new headings. So I can simply right click on the map itself and just say new heading and just say so as you can see here, as I type in the document map, the content also appears in the body of the document. If I want, I can also delete sections, add new sections, as well as add new subsections as well. So just by using the document map, I've just added some section into the main body. Now later on, when you keep working on the document, you might decide you want to rearrange the content. So those gone are the days where you have to kind of manually go through the document and copy and paste content to relocate the content within the same document. So now what you can do is essentially drag a section and move it anywhere you want. So maybe I want to move it somewhere here. Automatically the content moved right up to the place where you want it to be without actually doing any copy-paste operations within the main document window. So again, if you want to move this, here's what you do. That's it. And searching has also become much easier. So for an example, let's say I want to search for some content, or let me type coffee. Right? As you can see, no sooner I start typing the characters, automatically it is indexing the document real time and giving you the search characters that you want. Right? So just like that. And let's say I want to search for something else. Let's say help. So help seems to appear in a lot of places. So either you can manually browse through the documents and see the highlighted areas, or you can also get a document thumbnail. So these are the only two pages in the document where the word help appears. Or if you want to get a more paraphrased view, here's what it is. So instantly, your entire documents becomes much more easily searchable simply by using the document map window. Right? A few other things. Anybody has any idea what this means? Not really, right? That's what I thought. So let me do something here. So here's a Japanese document, which obviously I have no clue about. I'm just going to use a very simple feature in Word to really make this more readable and more understandable. So I go to Translate, select an option called Translate Document, and immediately the whole content gets translated into English and is given to me as in the form of a web browser. So this should take a couple of seconds for the translation to happen.